Guys, this talk of allegations of potential unfair economic practices is a good segue into our second topic of the day, which is the United Steelworkers urging the Biden administration to look into potential unfair practices by China, uh, specifically in the shipbuilding and maritime logistics sectors. So, guys, tell us a little more about the United Steelworkers petition. What does it claim about Chinese shipbuilders? What policy changes is it calling for?
Well, that on top line basis, it notes the ridiculously small share of the maritime fleet that goes into service at any point in time that is produced in American shipyards. And in this case, believe it or not, I'm fully in agreement with the union. And I think the U.S. commercial maritime shipping industry is in real crisis and deserves the close scrutiny it's getting. It's really in perilous shape. If you look at the ships that are built in the United States, they're not the major container ships and large seagoing vessels. It's principally barges and tugboats for use on river routes. And much of that fleet is aging badly. So I'm actually happy that official Washington is waking up to the perilous state of the U.S. merchant fleet. However, I have a hard time blaming all this on China because the story of merchant shipbuilding in the United States is declining competitiveness for about 100 years. The things we make in shipyards are more expensive and less flexible and less acceptable to a global market than almost any other shipbuilding nation. Koreans built most of the ships a couple of decades ago. They still have a very large share of shipbuilding operations. And the Chinese build a lot now, just like they build a lot of cars and a lot of other kinds of machines. So the U.S. has been uncompetitive for a long time. So while we may want to bring a Section 301 investigation, I would encourage the Congress and others to get another investigative group involved in what U.S. policy does to encourage or discourage construction of maritime vessels. I would contend that a lot of the problems with shipbuilding originate in the Merchant Marine Act of 1920, known as the Jones Act, which has regrettably, I think it was well legislated at the time. Many hearings, lots of fact finding, but at a very different time in both American history and transport history. And regrettably, it was never forced to be reauthorized under any period of time. And so now you have 100-year-old act that still sets the rules for U.S. vessels and crews, and that sets it in a way that we have become too expensive, uncompetitive in international markets, and has a lot of other costs through the economy. But look, merchant shipping's in trouble, but I don't blame the Chinese at all. In fact, we ought to probably get our own house in order first, or maybe simultaneously.